Thank you so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate it. If you're like us, and I know you are because you're watching this video, you're excited that it's fantasy football season. Who else is excited it's fantasy football
Cannot
season?
believe
Everybody
it is
here.
finally.
You already know.
All right.
Never guess it.
I mean, I could guess it because I'm in a couple leagues with you and I see your record right now.
That's facts.
But, sorry, I want to follow up that initial question with a second question. How many of you have ever envisioned Aaron Rodgers throwing a pass to Jerry Rice? How many of you have envisioned Joe Montana handing the ball off to Alvin Kamara?
That's crazy.
Who's thought about Tom Brady saying, I don't need Gronk, I'm going to go with the G-Man and throw a pass to Mark Bavaro? I don't know about the Bavaro point. I'll probably take Gronk instead of Bavaro too, but you can envision it. We can make it happen. We're here to discuss an idea called Generations. It's an all-time fantasy football league. You think about the greatest players ever, and then you think about that being your roster. You think about having Peyton Manning at quarterback, Walter Payton as a running back, Michael Irvin as a receiver, and it could happen here in Generations.
Yes.
Very, very simple concept.
But how?
You sit there and pick your team to go through a regular draft process, regular fantasy rules, and we're gonna highlight that and show you what that looks like in just a bit. And then the scores every week are accumulated from a random week and year of that player's career. Our application is gonna do all the work. You don't have to do any heavy lifting, any difficult thinking. It's gonna choose week 6 of year 5 of Tom Brady's career. And whatever those statistics translate to in fantasy points, that's going to be your score. All the details will follow, how it works and all that good stuff. We'll go through that, but we want to get to the fun stuff first. So what we're going to do is stage a little draft, show you what it looks like, show you what it may sound like, some of the players that you might get, some of the players you might not get, some of the players we didn't even think about because you guys are old jacks and we might be too young for that.
No scrubs.
That's fine. It's cool. So we're going to get into the draft. We'll go through the first couple rounds, and we're going to fast forward the last few rounds. We'll revisit the rosters as a whole at the end. We just don't want you guys sitting through a whole draft. So you'll see a little fast forward edit coming through after the second round. So stick with us. See how it goes. Dun, 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 dun.
Draft day.
It's draft day.
Yes, it is.
The
draft
first
day.
ever all-time fantasy draft.
How long have you been waiting?
Favorite part, right?
It's been a long time coming. This is the first time ever you're going to hear the names that you're going to hear in the same fantasy draft. The way we did our draft order is we went oldest from youngest, and I only did that because that's the only way I could get a top pick. Although I'm number 2, I'll take it.
That's fucked
This
up.
gentleman will be leading off. And as we
Works
go
out to be
around,
old
we'll do a
sometimes.
brief introduction. I know you don't really care too much about us personally, which is fine. You want to hear the players and everything, but just so you know who you're talking to. I'm going to turn it over to this gentleman
Chris.
for the first pick ever.
This is a big deal.
Thank you, Nick. My name is Chris Q. Call myself the Goatless Fantasy. Been doing this for about 20 years now. I love doing it.
You can tell he's old.
Nick brought this
20
idea
years.
to me. Told me, how about playing fantasy for 365 days a year? I said, huh? Talking about the idea. I'm all for it. I love the idea. And I'm happy to get this first pick because I didn't want nobody to get this guy. This is my first
I'll take my guy.
pick ever. This is my favorite running back of all time.
I swear you picked this
Barry
guy.
Sanders.
Let's go.
Barry Sanders
Let's go.
off the
I knew
board,
it.
number 1.
Off
Had
the
my
Good
eye
hit
board.
on
or
him.
miss.
I had my eye on him.
Good pick,
Why
KK.
you picked him first?
That
though,
is
bro?
the
Yeah,
first
we go
pick
young
ever
guys.
in the fantasy era of Generations.
A legend
My
right
name's
there.
Nick. Again, not going to take up too much time. Been doing fantasy for a good 13, 14 years. Love it. Really only into football, baseball, and basketball. Little too tedious for me. I just don't got the attention span. So with my first pick, I'm going Mr. San Diego State. I'm going one of the first versatile backs out there, out the backfield, catching passes and everything. If he was in today's league, he would have about 3,000 all-purpose yards a year.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, that's because you're not going to have this player in your team.
Oh, wow.
I'm going
Wow.
Mr. Falk, first name Marshall Falk, in the building, my first pick
What
ever.
the fuck?
Sounds like he works at a deputy department.
Up to you, my good man. Number
Off
3.
the board.
My name is Mikey Waite. I've been doing fantasy for several years as well. I won't say how many, so you won't know how old I am. And
We're only getting younger.
with my first pick, this guy, he has his own pair of sneakers.
A lot of us do.
Jordan.
His phrase is
Jordan.
Bo knows. I'm going with Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Okay.
Good pick.
All right.
That was definitely
Not what I
unexpected.
thought, yeah.
Had to go left field. You know, a lot of people don't really.
You went out the stadium with that one.
Stadium.
Yeah.
Does
Yes.
baseball
Thank
go
you.
into it? You get more points because of the baseball?
Combined.
yeah, let's add
We're
that in.
gonna get some
Let's
points
add
for every
that in.
home run that he got
Combined
too.
scores?
Combine the
Yes.
scores.
Coming soon.
Mind you, Mr.
Dual
Imran?
sport
All right,
fantasy.
sir. I am Imran. Been doing fantasy, honestly, 10 years. Man, time goes by if you really think about it. But yeah, 10 years, plenty of chips. Holla at your boy. Look at my record.
All
right. But I don't know how he's still available because this dude put up stats.
Still pretty early.
I know a
draft.
few of you guys definitely know I picked this guy up. Come on, you're like, wow, how is he still up? LaDainian Tomlinson.
LT.
Good pick.
LT number two. LT number
Pull
one
up
right
what-
here.
Pull up
LT number
pull up
two
the top
right
stats
there.
in fantasy ever.
Numbers,
Who are you gonna see? You're gonna see
LT.
LT. You're gonna see
Nah,
LT.
he's a beast.
Not
Hopefully
the
the char-
jet, not the jet years though.
That's right.
Bolts.
Let's
Not
hope.
Bolts.
I
Let's
might
hope.
get those.
The Chargers.
He took us. Yo, listen, 2 straight AFC championships.
All right.
That's what the
Who's
Jets.
your
That was all Mark Sanchez,
Mark
baby.
Franchise.
And Darrell Revis.
Good enough. Darrell Revis was our quarterback. All right, that's how good he was.
Mike,
All right. My name is Mike. I've been doing fantasy for over 10 years now. Boys at home know the deal. Let me get my first pick. And I got the wraparound, so I'm going to take 2 picks here. So I'm going to go. My first one, I'm going to take Adrian Peterson.
AP.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hopefully the
All right.
Vikings years, but we'll see what happens.
Go Lions.
The app.
Second pick, usually I'll go running back, but there's so many players in this all time. I'm going to go with my man Mike Vick.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cheat code
All
for-
right.
Wow. That's super
That's
I
early.
am a dog lover, but
That's still a running back.
Vick. He's basically a running back.
Remember those
You
Madden
want
years,
the numbers. I
Come
get
on.
it.
That's a
Remember those
good
Madden
one.
years?
Oh,
Just
man.
run all day with them.
That's really
Atlanta
good.
got
years
more
when he
run-
washed up
yeah.
Minnesota
More
by
rushing
himself.
yards than the
You
other
washed
team,
up the league.
Usually this is not my strategy. I usually like to go RB.
Right.
But you know what? I think there's plenty.
There's
Plenty to go for.
No
That's for
scrubs.
sure.
So I'm gonna
In this
take this
draft.
guy before he's taken up by somebody else. I gotta go Jerry Rice.
Okay. All time. Let's hope you don't get the Seahawks years
I mean,
or the Raiders years.
let's see. Let's hope they all line up on one week.
Name of the
I'm not
game.
mad at that. I'm not mad at
Yeah,
that.
that's
Can't go
dope.
on with Jerry.
All right. So you guys said you wouldn't want to go running back. Well, I'm going running back. All right. This guy, he's a little controversial.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't really love him per se. They call him the Juice Man. I'm going OJ Simpson. OJ Simpson.
So you got
pick.
OJ
Good pick.
and Bo Jackson in the backfield.
Yes.
Ooh.
Two-letter.
That is
First
interesting.
name.
How
That
many
is
points for
very-
murders?
And Bo. B-O and OJ.
Let's just say
Extra
his
points for
his
murders.
team name is White
Oh,
Bronco.
man.
Yes.
Good pick.
Yes.
KQ.
Yeah.
Coming back to me. Oh, I get 2 picks too, right?
Yep.
2 picks. Yep. Wrap around.
All right. And you guys been talking about RB, but I am gonna take a RB on my
All
next
right.
pick.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's my pick. I
Yes,
apologize.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope I take your guy. Yep, because it's him than me.
Good
Yes.
thing he
Ooh,
didn't
that was
choose.
Oh man.
Good
Let's
thing
see.
he
Let's
didn't
Let's
choose.
see who was keeping
I didn't
track.
say his name.
Who was keeping track? Let's see.
So-
Hit it in the comments.
We
if
did
you
not
kept
have
track.
any Hennessy today.
I'm going.
Nick did it on purpose.
I did. So I was gonna try to see who Chris was taking. So I'm taking the all-time. I know a lot of Giant jerseys around here,
don't say
but
that guy.
I'm taking this guy because he was consistent every single year on Arizona,
Who could that
on
be?
Dallas, washing us up with one
Arizona.
arm. I'm going Mr. Emmett Smith to have a backfield of Marshall Falk
Ain't
and
my guy,
Emmett.
but-
That's dope.
All right.
Over to
Me
you,
being a
Ken.
Giant fan,
I
it hurts
see
just to
you.
hear
I
Emmitt
see
you.
Smith's name. I still remember that one arm.
That's a strong lineup, man.
So since we're talking about all-time greats, and then got Nick didn't pick my guy, I'm gonna go to all-time running backs. I'm gonna go with Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Next pick.
Jim Brown played for the
Okay.
Browns. Browns
now-
on
I was
Brown.
thinking about him.
You got
And
one
then
more?
I'm
Not
gonna go
Odell
with
Brown.
a wide receiver. Funny that I was just talking about.
And that concludes the first ever Generations all-time draft.
The
That was fun.
first ever.
That was fun.
So
team
now,
got this.
what
was
we're
fun.
gonna do? My team's the best. Since he's
No
this
scrubs.
one. I got the
My
I got
team
the
is
loudest
none.
mic, so
No
my team's
scrubs.
the best.
Stop it.
So what we're gonna do is not take you through everybody's roster again, being considerate of time. So Mike is gonna go through the roster of Chris and Imran
Going down.
and show you what the scoring looks like, what a game looks like.
gonna be a matchup.
Very basic, very, very high level, just to give you an idea of what the teams look like, number one, and what the scoring looks like. So I'm gonna turn it over to Mike
right.
to go
So
over
let's
what a
do
game
this
looks
here.
like with Chris and Imran. So
Just
take it
want
away.
to say
Good luck,
before
sir.
before I name the rosters, one of our rules is any player you draft has to be in the league for at least 3 years. So
Minimum.
and this is gonna be standard scoring, not PPR. Obviously, when you do yours, you can do any kind of scoring you want. So we did this manually, the weeks and years, and I went and calculated all the scores. But obviously, when we have the league, our app will be finished, our website will be finished, and it'll do that all on the app for you. So you won't have to do any kind of work.
And we don't know who won yet.
They don't know who won.
No,
I'm
yeah,
the only
we
one
have
that
no
knows the
idea.
scores
It's all
right
the
here.
first
This
time.
is live.
I'm putting my money on
Happening for the
Imran.
first time.
Nick's betting on
Got my
Emron.
money
Let's see
on
what
Chris.
happens.
Hmm.
So I'm going to start with Emron's team first. I'll go through the players, the week, the year, and the points, and I'll tell you guys the totals at the end. Nick's putting some money.
Is that Canadian money?
I don't know what that is, but all right. Is that a $2 bill? All right. Let's go with Emron. Quarterback, Peyton Manning.
Boom.
We came to year 14, game 1.
Mm.
Ooh, big game. 39 points.
Ooh, whoa,
Damn.
whoa. Come on
money's
now.
looking nice
I
right
got
now.
some big
All right.
money up on this.
Already?
So we're going to go with
Stop
running
it.
back, LaDainian Tomlinson. Year 10, game 8,
That sounds like
which
a
might
jet
be
year.
a Jets year.
That sounds like a jet year. Ah.
10 points.
That's some jet stats right there.
That sounds like
Listen, for a
Right.
jet, that is all-star, baby.
Hey,
that
Good
was
hustle, boy.
that was a touchdown and 40 yards.
Double digits. You take
Double
it.
digits is good.
Ground
Standard
and pound,
scoring, you
baby.
take it.
Goal
Yeah.
line work.
All right, next up, second running back, Steven Jackson.
Mm.
Year 6, game 7, 13 points.
Okay,
Ooh.
all right, all right.
Might have been a Rams.
All right.
Solid.
I mean,
no.
that's bet. That's
Year 6 is
that's
probably
nice.
Rams.
I mean,
would say.
non-PPR, that's a solid. That's a
No,
solid
that's solid.
scoreboard.
Yeah. Take 13.
All right, next up, Jerry Rice. Year 15,
Oh.
game 14.
Well, that's a shit.
I got to be like a Seattle.
That's
dude.
a Raiders.
12 points.
Not
Not
bad.
bad. Still-
Wow.
On his way out.
Not bad.
On his way out. We'll grab that.
Hey, next up,
Double digits,
Antonio Brown.
AB.
Oh,
Gotta
Year
be.
7,
Gotta be.
game 15,
Ah, boy.
15 points.
All right.
Okay.
I mean,
There's
I
no
mean, you know
wrong
what?
with
Okay,
15.
okay.
Guys,
If
15
it was
is damn
PPR,
good.
Come on,
that would have been like a
15
20-point
Right,
game.
yeah.
Say that. PPR would be a lot more.
That would have been a 20-point
I
game.
need you to get some
Really
points,
good,
Chris.
though.
I did this, man. I didn't feel like doing PPR. All right, next up, Priest Holmes.
Come on,
Year
Holmes.
7, game 15.
Come
Nice
on,
game,
Holmes.
23 points.
There you go, Holmes. That's what I'm talking about, Holmes.
Yes, don't touch it.
Next up, tight end,
So tight.
Rob Gronkowski.
Come on, Gronk. You fucked us
Year
every
time.
time.
4,
Hope he's hurt
game
this game.
4, 16 points.
Ah,
Yes.
man.
From a tight end, that's
Take
what you
it.
want.
That means he
That's what
scored
you
a
want.
touchdown.
That's what
Yeah.
you want from a tight
Next
end.
up, Greg the Leg, Greg Zerline. Year 7, game 7, 12 points.
That's
Wow,
not
that's
bad.
damn
For a
good.
That's a,
kicker.
that's a kicking
I'll take
game,
it.
bro.
Solid.
12 points from a
That's
kick.
right.
I'm
Next
giving
up,
you.
defense, 2013 Seahawks, Legion of Boom. We got 10 points.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's
They
go.
did- they did-
So-
single
that
team.
Yo,
means
that
they
means that
didn't-
was a donut and nothing else happened.
Yeah, that's
Nothing else.
I'll take that for a
Steady
defense.
hand,
That's
baby.
solid.
You got nobody on.
So I'm not going to
single
tell you the
digits.
total yet. We'll do that at the end. So I'm going to go with Christian's team here. Quarterback, Tom Brady.
TB.
Come on, Chris.
4.
He almost matched Peyton Manning. Year 12, game 4, 38 points.
That's a freaking jet game.
Come on, my money's on
Probably.
you, bro.
Goddamn
Probably
Jets.
playing
My money's on you.
Next up,
Hey.
the legend, Barry Sanders.
He's a hit or miss.
Year 8, game 5,
He's a hit or miss.
7 points.
That's, I knew it. I knew it. He's a hit or miss.
It's Detroit. That's why he retired.
Feel free to drop him to the waivers.
Next up, second running back, Jim Brown.
Jimmy.
Old school.
This
Come
is
on,
Year
gotta go.
3,
This is gonna be a good one.
game
Pay off.
7. What do you
It's gonna
think?
pay off.
That's a good
I'm
one.
gonna go
pay off.
12.
I'm gonna say
It's
20.
gonna pay off.
I'm gonna say 20.
25
Damn it.
points.
Jim Brown.
Told you that. I knew
Next
that.
up,
Old school
He
was gonna
just
pay
made
off.
up for Barry, bro.
Yeah.
That's
But
what we
that
needed.
helmet
He made
on.
that, yeah.
That's what we needed.
Wide receiver,
Come on.
Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones.
This gonna be a good
This was he was a young Julio. Year 2, game
That's
16,
young Julio.
13 points.
Okay, all right.
Not bad.
That could have been much worse.
Yes.
That's right.
That could have been much
It's
worse.
workable.
Next
Matt Ryan
up,
was
wide
in there,
receiver, Michael Irvin of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
Year
I was
4,
playing the
Come
Giants.
on, Mike.
game 8, 14 points.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
That's
all right.
solid
Yeah, I like
output.
that.
I'll take that.
Next up at flex, Tyreek Hill.
Oh shit!
Tyreek, come
This
on.
I'm gonna get done dirty.
Come
Year
on.
3, game 10.
Yeah, the way you look at
23 points.
That's why I drafted him. For that
Right.
same reason.
Next
That boy
up,
good.
tight end Antonio
supposed to be looking
Gates,
more at the
San
current
Diego
years.
Chargers.
Charges.
Year 7, game
Go
12.
Chargers.
Nice game, 16 points.
Wow.
All right. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
That's
good. I'm
crazy.
feeling good right now.
Next up, kicker Steven Goskowski. Year 5, game 3. That's a Patriots year. 8 points.
Okay.
It's a kicker.
right,
It's a
all
kicker.
right.
Yo,
It's a kicker.
Tyreek.
And then the
Put up
85
numbers.
Bears. 10 points.
All right.
85
All right,
bets,
so
10 points.
Defense evened out. All right.
Defense is even.
It's gonna be close.
That-
Quarterbacks are almost even.
That
It's gonna be
fucking
close.
flex.
This is gonna be
I'm
close.
sweating.
Flex
I'm
for
sweating.
Brees Holmes, Tyreek Hill, 23 points each. Flex
This is
3
gonna
even.
get close.
Come on, man.
Total
Find a
score.
Oh, boy.
154 to 150.
In favor of.
Christian. That was a close one. I didn't expect it to be that close.
Thank you for believing in me.
Pay up, pay up, pay up.
Just want to say, Nick was the only one
I
that
came up with
Yo,
the idea, so I'm
good,
not
bro.
paying.
I'm going to see you
Yeah, that was
outside,
good.
Nick. I want my money.
So as we said, all these years and games were randomly picked. Nobody knew what year a game it was except for me because I did it manually. Obviously, like we said, when the app is done,
He's a go for a reason. He's a go
They
for a
call him the
reason.
GOAT. They call him the GOAT.
That's what they call me.
And it's been a lot of fun, guys. A lot of
Dead
fun.
cat.
So,
Wow, that was
in conclusion, just to wrap this all up and tie a nice little bow on it.
Fuck.
What this is.
0-1 for Emron. That sucks. Start off 0-1
This
sucks.
is why he's in 7 leagues. So,
Hit the waivers. There's a lot of players out there. on waivers.
just this idea as a whole, basically, the idea is called Generations. That's what our application is going to be called. It's what we're going to be doing. This is all going to be live. It is something you're going to be able to download on your Android, your Apple, whatever it is. And again, just like Mike said, this is all randomized. There's no way to fix it. There's no way to know what your scores are beforehand. As we go further, more information will be released in terms of the rules, the intricacies, all those things. If you do have any questions, leave it in the comment section. We'll definitely hit you up, give you all the details. Anything that you could think of in terms of why this won't work or what's an impediment, we already thought about. So trust me, put it in there if you got a question.
Hit us
we
up.
got an
Please
answer
like this
for you.
page.
That's
Like,
right.
Generations
Subscribe. Like
Fantasy.
this video,
Follow
please.
us on Instagram, on Twitter. Facebook's coming soon. YouTube. Generations Fantasy. One word, no spaces. Generations Fantasy.
We're doing this for the fantasy team.
That's right. So, thank you so much for your
All the
time.
fantasy lovers.
We hope to hear you and see you going forward. We'll do an NBA video. We'll do a Major
MLB.
League video.
That's it.
Sir.
Ultimately, we're going to do something really crazy. I'm not going to share it just yet, but our ultimate goal is going to take fantasy to a
gonna
whole
be
different
big.
You
level.
guys are gonna love it.
So,
be big.
thank you for your time. Enjoy.
Promise you, man.
Have a good season, everybody.
Stick with us.
Stay
Stick
healthy.
with us.